These motherfuckers think they slick. But New Medium caught them. Let's get into it. All right, right here what we have is a trial transcript for a motion hearing that dated October 4, 2021. It's very important. Y'all remember that date. This is approximately about 21 days before Dexter actually goes to trial. This is the start of the transcript. It said, this is the case number, 2020 C-55430. Of course, this is on the trial calendar for this month. So they already know they finna go to trial on this, right? You go down to the bottom where I got underlined, it said, this was actually done in Bibb County, so I don't have a copy of the search warrant. So again, they had no search warrant on March 4th. Bibb County did, right? Stay with me. All right, now here's the judge. It says, Stans, you're removing, I'm looking at the winner steps in and say it'll be the March 4th. It starts on 85, Predicated Act number 85. The court, okay, Mr. Winters. And just for the record, Judge, I believe the case law is clear. If the defendant had entered a plea or been convicted of the prior to this indictment, the state would be clear to use those predicated acts here. I have spoken to attorneys who handle this more than I do. There is a concern about, since this case has not been handled, since we're the same jurisdiction, if it can go the other way. And I would tell the court, I have previously raised that concern prior to the indictment, but follow instructions. And the judge just goes on, okay, of course, 86 were there. All right, Mr. Winter said, I would say, Judge, some of the predicated acts, subsequent predicated acts, don't involve the defendant. But the March 4th, that's the date that's relevant. That's the date of the arrest, right? All right, and it goes on to say, no motions that have been filed. He said, I would tell the court, and I just want to be candid with the court, this case was indicted previously, and I'm going to present a new indictment to the grand jury next Tuesday, right? This is the 4th. He's talking about next Tuesday, which is what? The 12th, okay? So keep that in mind. The reasoning is the U.S. Attorney Office was originally going to handle parts of this case that are alleged in the predicate acts. I have a concern, and I previously had a concern about that, about including them in the predicate act, but was instructed to go forward with that. I have now been informed last Wednesday around lunch meeting I had with Investigator Molden with the U.S. Attorney's Office, Molden with the U.S. Attorney's Office, okay, that they would no longer be handling the 39 keys of cocaine in Bibb County. Because of that, they're going to allege as predicate acts in count 1 of RICO, and I'm going to remove those. He said, I'm going to remove. It doesn't change the indictment. Really, it doesn't. Substance of the indictment, but I'm going to remove those from the predicated act so they can be handled. The 39 keys can be handled in Bibb County as trafficking. I just wanted to make the court clear. Really, really, Winters, really, okay. How you gonna charge this man? Why are you talking about charges that was dropped 18 months early? Here's a letter from the clerk of Bibb County talking about the arrest on March 4th. The charges were dismissed on April the 8th. This hearing we're talking about was October 4th, 2021. This is April 8th, a month and 4 days after the arrest, Bibb County dropped the charges. So what are you talking about, DA Winters? What are you talking about? What charges are you talking about? The 39 keys going to be handled in Bibb County. They didn't already drop the charges. But you're presenting this in open court. I ain't through. Watch this. Now, mind you, they already re-indicted Dick on October the 12th. I'm going to show you in the docket here later. But this is the start of the trial. All right? This is the start of the trial. This is the trial transcript, jury trial transcript. You see at the top of there, 55-430, October 26th through the 28th. Very interesting that date because the trial started on the 25th. For some reason, they got the 25th through the 28th. Well, check this out. On the 28th, they come in and null pros the indictment right here, right there. See the number? 55-430. The 3 RICO charges right there, right? But they re-indict them on the same day. Guess what for? 3 RICO charges. So how you gonna drop 3 RICO charges and then recharge them with the same charge? That's almost like double jeopardy, ain't you? You drop the charge, what you charge them again for? You're gonna find out why, right? And they did this on the 28th, but that got re-indicted on the 12th. So why did y'all start the trial with the 55-430? I know why you started the trial with 55-430, because you wanted to show the 40 keys. The ones you took out the indictment. The ones you said Bibb County was gonna handle. You took that out, took that away, the March 4th arrest and everything. But you want to show the jury the drugs. You want to show the jury the quote-unquote evidence that you got from Bibb County. And you then bring with 2 keys to court and put the other 37 up on the screen. So you don't even have, where's the chain of custody on that, right? But you do this on the 28th. Why? I'm going to show you why. So they go on and indict Dex. Go ahead and get indicted. Dex start filing his appeal, right? But because the re-indictment came, the 56-788, the new indictment, he got to file the appeal on that. So the Georgia Court of Appeals here is talking about November 2020 is what? The 55-430. Dexter Williams was filed a statutory speedy trial demand, which the trial court denied. Now here's the real kicker. Ask any lawyer, ask any judge, ask anybody. You cannot deny statutory speedy trial. You can't deny it. Georgia law doesn't permit it. But even the Georgia Court of Appeal is saying that the trial court denied it, right? All about this COVID stuff. We're going to get into it, right? Then the Georgia Court of Appeal go on to talk about, pro se motion for discharge and acquittal. Again, Dexter filed that on 55-430. This appeal is on 56-788. Georgia Court of Appeal, how do you know this happened? Because the clerk didn't send up the file. Hell, Dexter's been asking them to send up the whole old docket, the old indictment, the original indictment. And they're sending letters like this. They saying they need a court order to send up 55-430. But the Georgia Court of Appeal is basing their whole denial on 55-430. And you know why they won't want to send up 55-430? I'm finna show you why. Georgia Court of Appeal said Dexter should have brought this up earlier. He said they denied it because you should have brought this up earlier, man. We ain't got time for this now. You waiting this 2025. You should have brought it up earlier, right? Because remember, they only getting the 56-788. And they're looking at like his speedy trial demand was not violated because look, you was indicted on the 12th, you went to trial on the 28th. By that math, speedy trial was not violated. But if they don't send up the original file that they keep referring to, I'm finna show you why they don't want to send it up. Right here. You see how they look down here. Demand for speedy trial. Demand for speedy trial, right? Demand for speedy trial, right? Then look at that right there on 6-3. 6-3-2020. You see what it say? Order denying speedy trial demand on the 6th Amendment. So this judge not only denied his statutory speedy trial, which he got any time, but this man denied his constitutional speedy trial. Denied. Not told, not paused, denied. And then again, speedy trial. Go on, no, speedy trial. So what are you talking about, Georgia Court of Appeal? The man filed it earlier. It's crazy, right? It's crazy, but y'all saying he didn't. But why? Okay, if you saying it's been denied, Georgia Court of Appeal, why aren't you asking for that order? That is definitely material to this case. A denial for speedy trial is material to this case. And then you're talking about a speedy trial that's not even been sent up in the file. So how do you even know this happened? How do you know the denial for acquittal, discharge and acquittal? That was on the 55-430, but you're talking about it in the 56-788. How is that, Georgia Court of Appeal? If you don't know, if they didn't send it up, how do you know this? Remember how they started the trial on the old docket number? Look over there. Look right here. 55-430. This is the sentencing document. This is the new indictment. This is what they convicted him on. Sentence, convicted. They let you know. Then they come back a year later and drop the charges against the wife. Look why. Venue, Bibb County, dismissal, same goddamn warrant number. And here's your guy, G.E. Bo Adams. Boy, you hell, boy. You hell. Y'all stay tapped in. New media. Be great today. Peace.